Hey, welcome to Chapter 5 of Best Practices for Distance Learning, Learning How to Learn, a guide for kids and teens. Our objective per usual is to use Neurology's insights to make sure I am being the best distance learner I can be. If you don't want to chapter walk with Mr. Surface, just mute me and use the pause function on the video to read the chapter on your lonesome. I won't be that mad on the outward appearance anyway. Rewatch and revisit. These discoveries are relatively new, but they are the product of new discoveries in neurological research. So it's only the finest information and learning for Stewart Middle School students. Okay, so learning how to learn. Let's get it. We are on chapter 6. All right, we skipped chapter 5 because it is useless. It's a useless chapter. It's just kind of a story, and I didn't see any point in having anyone read it. You are welcome to read it on your own sometime, but I just thought it was more of like a pointless story about her life and less applicable knowledge. I mean, it's stories are nice, but so is information. So let's take a look. Chapter 6, Learning While You Sleep, How to Wake Up Smarter. Oh, I love it because I love sleep. Okay? Which is why I need a little more of it, and I'm drinking all this coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Oh. All right. Research scientist Gan Yang and the team she works with made important discoveries about learning as they relate to sleep. Let's take a look. The power of sleep. Okay, using new techniques, Guang took a picture of a living neuron. Guang's picture below shows the part of the dendrite you can see chapter 4 for this terminology or repetition thereof. Okay? You can see the dendritic spines that are growing out of the dendrite before learning and before sleep, and look at the new spines after learning and after sleep, right? Notice that a few of the spines are missing. What happened to them? Some went missing. What happened to those? Well, we're going to see the discussion of synaptic vacuum cleaners that lies on a few pages ahead. So, some of the highlights. Concentrating intently during the day to learn something new can spur new dendritic bumps to begin to form. This is where the active recall comes in. It helps create those first bumps. Then that night while you're sleeping, the little bumps turn into dendritic spines. The more of these links that you have and the stronger the links are, the more powerful your sets of brain links are. You want to build as many brain links and to go and to send that mouse from earlier chapters, that thought running along those paths as often as possible, and then to jump between those in diffuse mode as often as possible. And you'll slowly build an edifice of learning. So, actually, just reading this page and paying close attention here is helping new dendritic spines to form right now. All right, here's the strange thing. Pardon me. Dendritic spines are sort of like lie detectors. The new spines in their synapses only begin the growing process if you're really focusing on the new information you want to learn. You can't kid them. Dendritic spines can tell whether you've been playing video games or texting your friends instead of studying. In fact, even if new dendritic spines and synapses form, they can easily fade away and disappear if you don't practice them. Use it or lose it. Okay, when it comes to the brain, that cliche is absolutely true. All right, it's like a synaptic janitor comes around and removes the dendritic spines because they're not being used. Right? Think of that movie Inside Out. The people that go around with a vacuum cleaner. That's kind of based on how your brain actually works, right? When they remember the part where she remembers the piano part. Actually, let's do that one. I think that's worth taking the time to look up, rather than having me explain it. So, Inside Out scene janitors. Long-term memory. I think this is it. Come on.
Wait, Joy, you could get lost in there.
Think positive.
Okay. I'm positive you will get lost in there. That's long-term memory. The endless warren of corners and shells. I read about it in the
Manuals? The manuals! You read the manuals!
Yeah.
So you know the way back to headquarters.
Hold on one sec. Here it is. Oh, stinking thing. Come on. There we are.
This'll be easy.
I won't.
All right. So here come those janitors.
Can't take much more of the mind workers.
But Joy, we're almost.
Phone numbers. Oh, we don't need all these. They're in her phone.
Just forget all of that, please.
Hi.
Forget it.
I need to find
Look at
friendship
this.
on.
4 years of piano lessons.
Yeah, it looks pretty faded.
You know what? Save chopsticks and heart and soul. Get rid of the rest.
Are you?
U.S. presidents. What do you think?
Yeah, just keep Washington, Lincoln, and the Fab one.
Forget them.
Hey, you can't throw those away. Those are perfectly good memories.
The names of every cutie pie princess doll.
Yes, that is critical information. Glitter Storm, Honey Pants, and
Forget them.
Hey, bring those back.
They're in the dump. Nothing comes back from the dump.
Yeah, look, lady, this is our job.
When Riley doesn't care about a memory, it fades.
Fade?
Happens to the best of them.
Yeah, except for this bad boy. This one will never fade.
Triple that gum.
The song from the gum commercial.
You know, sometimes we send that one up to headquarters for no reason.
Plays in Riley's head over and over again, like 1,000,000 times. Let's watch it again.
Triple that gum.
I know the song. Okay, yeah, we'll keep
Hey, what do you think she was doing?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This again.
Well, well, well. Pretty clever, that movie. And it goes right along with the actual science, too, which is nice. So use it or lose it. It's true. Or those guys will come and suck it away, right? In this, it's a dog janitor. I like the other version more. That's why you can understand something your teacher tells you in class, but if you wait for a few days before reviewing the material, you may find you don't understand it at all. All right. So one way to check this out is to hit your knee. Like if you hit your knee, right, and you hit it the right way, there it is. You see the table shake, right? That's the knee sort of popping up, right? That is checking synaptic gaps. Let's see. Neurons aren't only in the brain. They're also in other parts of your body. You can actually see your neurons and synapses at work. Try this experiment. All right, sit on the bed and dangle your feet over the edge, then hit your knee gently just below your kneecap. No cap, below the knee. Be careful not to hit it too hard, but just enough to get your knee to jerk automatically. This is called reflex. When you gently tap below the knee, it causes a muscle to pull above the knee. This muscle then sends a signal through a sensory neuron that travels to your spinal cord. There, the signal jumps across the synapse, and then we go to the next page. All right, and then it takes a while. Get out of there. A motor neuron that twitches your muscle. The strength of the synapse, that is, the strength of the signal that crosses the gap between neurons, controls how far your knee jerks. A strong set of synapses makes your knee fly fast, but weak synapses won't move it much. This is why what doctors are checking for when they tap your knee. Don't worry if you can't make your knee jerk. Some people just don't respond to the knee tap, and that's still perfectly all right. There are many different kinds of reflexes. If someone makes a loud noise in front of your face, or you will blink, if you put your fingers in front of a baby's palm and press, the baby will grasp the fingers. What's cool about many reflexes is they protect your body. When you touch a hot stove, for example, your reflexes react quickly to prevent a burn. The information only needs to travel from muscle to the spinal cord and back without needing to travel all the way to the brain. Traveling to the brain takes time, and when your hand's on a hot stove, you want to move it as quickly as possible and not wait to think. Right, and here's a little example over there. Very cool. All right, spaced retrieval. How to build a brick wall of learning. So, good learning structures are like solid brick walls. All right, this is another metaphor. Okay, they grow bit by bit, getting stronger over time. All right, when you mice tend to be nighttime creatures, remember. So practice makes permanent. So your sleep is sort of what helps to cement these ideas neatly as opposed to this mess over there, right? Does your learning look like this brick wall, or does it look like this brick wall? If you let the mortar dry between layers of brick by sleeping, you build a solid neural foundation. That's the wall on top. If you don't let the layers dry and cram your building or your learning into one day, it looks like that god-awful mess there at the bottom, right? The wall becomes a jumbled mess. This is what can happen to your learning if you put everything off to the last minute. Now you see why cramming is a bad idea. Leave your work to the last minute, and you have less time to repeat and fewer nights of sleep to grow new synapses so you won't recall the details well. Take a look at this weekly calendar, right? If you are building ideas all week and getting enough sleep all week, you're learning. If you're not getting enough sleep all week, you're not going to learn. You can't pretend that you are learning. If you keep practicing each day the new ideas, your set of brain links grows thicker and stronger. Okay? So, active recall, one of the most effective ways to boost your learning. If you don't practice new ideas, you're learning, your synaptic sweep will sweep and even vacuum them away. Some people need more practice and repetition to get a concept than others, and that's absolutely fine. That's okay. I'm a slow learner myself. Okay? You may have a lot of subjects you've got to study, and you do. But to keep on top of that, that's okay. Each time you take up a subject to study, give it your full attention while you're studying it. Don't think about other things you have to do. When you pick up your work for the next subject, give it your full attention. Having to keep up with a lot of very difficult topics may sometimes seem difficult, but it helps keep you mentally flexible. You can create new sets of brain links and practice using them with lots of different subjects each day. Your brain has a galaxy of room inside. You can never even come close to filling it with new ideas and facts, no matter how hard you try. Okay. So, summing it up, new dendritic spines and synapses begin to form when you start learning new information, but the dendritic spines and synapses really develop after your focused learning session while you are sleeping that night. Without sleep, you're not going to remember it. Sorry, there's no workaround there. It's just how humans are. Sleep provides the mortar that solidifies walls of learning. Sleep provides the mortar that solidifies the walls of your learning. Dendritic spines and synapses develop even further when you continue to practice what you're learning. The more you send thought around your neural pathways, the more permanent it becomes. That's how sets of brain links are made. Don't cram. Space out your learning over several days. That way you'll have more nights of sleep for more dendritic spines and synapses to grow. Your lessons will sink in. Oh, come on, you think? We'll just click it then. There we are. We all learn at different speeds. Don't feel bad if someone else is quicker than you. That's life. Just put in a little more time. You'll also soon discover that being a slow learner can give you special advantages. Take the time now to explain what you learned in this chapter to an object close by, like the rubber ducky method, right? As we've been discussing over and over again, right? There's a reason we do it. We try to actively recall what we just read. So what I'm going to do is just put it on this blank screen here and give you a chance. I'm going to talk to my daughter's cupcake robot, all right? And we're going to chat about, what we just learned in chapter 6. Here we go. All right. Complete this Google form and submit it. All right. Be well.